Hello guys, let's come to this YouTube tutorial of C++. Here we are going to learn about what is C++ and some programming also and its basic features. So in this tutorial we are going to learn about general purpose. What is C++? C++ is a general purpose programming language. It was created by Bajaj Strauss. Okay, so in this tutorial we are going to learn about C++ basic OOP programming, advanced C++ concepts, interview question, and then we come to the C++ basics. C++ will history, features, installation, first C++ program, structure of a C++ program, identifiers, keywords, whitespace, data types, variables, modifier, type qualifiers, operators, conditional statements, and loops in C++. So let's start without further ado. History of C++, developed in 1980. It was developed by Mr. Bajan Stroustrup at the Bell Laboratories. So here's this guy, awesome guy who created it. He developed C++ programming language in order to integrate the object-oriented style of programming into C language without having it to make any significant changes to the C fundamentals. Features of C++. It has rich library, built-in arithmetic and logical functions. Object-oriented programming concepts are there like inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation. It is compiler based, so that means first the whole program is compiled and then it is executed. Memory management, it can both allocate and deallocate memory dynamically at any instance of time. So C++ is structured, extensible, it has pointers, it has recursion, it supports rich library, object-oriented program, object-oriented, compiler based, and memory management is also there. So recursion. C++ language supports function backtracking, which involves recursion. In the process of recursion, a function is called within which another function or multiple number of within which another function is called multiple number of times. Uh, take take factorial of 5 as an example. So fact of 5 is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So we will be calling n into fact of n minus 1. So we will be returning n into fact of n minus 1. So again fact of n minus 1 will be called, so it will return n minus 1 into fact of n minus 1. Similarly we will get factorial of 5 is equal to 120. It has pointers. C++ enables users to directly interact with memory using pointers. We use pointers in memory structure, functions, arrays, stack, and many more. It is C++ is extensible because it is easily adaptable. It has easily adaptable features. It is structured. Code reusability is possible because of structured program. It supports the functions. C++ installation. We can use Turbo C, Fortblocks, Dev C++. I prefer Fortblocks or some online IDE. It's also important. So here we come to our first C++. After install, come to the first C++ program. These are header files. Hatch include iostream.h, which include conio.h, both are header files. Now int void main. Void means no return type. Main is the main function name. Clear screen will clear the screen of your output screen. Cout is used for printing something. So this is the syntax of printing. Whatever you need to print, you need to write inside this arrows. Okay. After that, you need to add a semicolon. Gauge is used for exiting the output screen once you press some keys. Structure of a C++ program. Headers, then class definition, member functions definition, and then main function. C++ headers. It starts with a hatch symbol. Now hatch include iostream.h. As we can see, iostream is written in arrows. So if you are using arrows, it means that you are using built-in header files. Suppose if you want to use your own header files, then you need to use quotes here. Hatch include double quotes, so whatever your name of your header is. Okay, iostream.h is used for iostream.h instructs the preprocessor to perform standard input and output operation. Now namespace. A namespace allows grouping of various members like classes, objects, functions, and various C++ tokens. under a single name. So it's a group of a namespace is a group of various members like classes, objects, function, various C++ token in a single name, like using namespace std. So this std consists of cout, cin, string, and many more. Um, so this avoids the compile time error that may exist due to identical name conflicts. Like you notice that cout is present in std. Now you again create a cout which is present in another namespace. So the compiler doesn't know which namespace you belong to. Okay, so need to mention that here. Now class definition. Class definition has three access specifier: private, protect, public. In C++, all members are private by default. Member functions are the operators and functions that are declared as members of a particular class. Member functions are also known as friends of a main class. Main function is known as the entry point of every C++ program. When a C++ program is executed, the execution control goes directly to the main function. Okay. Identifiers. Identifiers means variables. Uh, in C++ language, identifiers in C++ language are none other than the names assigned to variables and main functions used in C++ program. The valid identifiers in C++ programs are declared using the alphabets from capital A to capital, small a to small z, and 0 to 9. It can also contain underscore also. Int a, float x, a and ax, Eureka happy learning are all identifiers. Now keywords. Similar to identifiers, we do have some special and reserved words in our C++ program which have a special meaning. So keywords are reserved words in C++ which have a special meaning. Here case, break, default, double, int, char, long, all are keywords. Now new keywords introduced in C++ are try, catch, using, new, namespace, protected, throw, white space. White spaces can be defined as the C++ as a term used in C++ to define blank space. So blank spaces used in C++ are known as white spaces, like tab space, new line character, and comments are all white space. White space separates one statement from another and enables the compiler to identify where one element in a statement, such as int ints in the beginning of the next int. Here, char space Eureka. So this white space denotes that first is we have char keyword, and then we have its variable Eureka learning. Okay, this comment here is also a white space. New line character is also white space. Tab spaces are also a namespace. Sorry, white space. What is namespace? Namespace is a group of words grouped together into in a single name, like C in C out, grouped together to a std class, std namespace. Comment. C++ program comments are user written. For single line comment, you need to use double slash. For multiple line comments are slash star, and then for ending it star slash. So why we need comments? Comments are basically written for user preference, so that they can understand for what they are using that variable for, or for further understanding, future understanding. Types of data types. So data types are built-in data types: int, float, char. User-defined data types are structure, enum, class, union, and derived data types are array, pointer, function, reference. So first we come to the derived data types. Array is a set of elements of the same data type. Okay, array is contiguous. This is important. So we can access the elements of an array from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so come here. Using namespace std, here int arr is an array. Arr is an array of size 5. That means it will have 5 blocks of integer. So each block will have some value if you store, and if you don't store, it will by default have a garbage value. ARR 0, 1, ARR. So at 0th index position we store 1, at first index position we store 2, similarly at 4th index position we store 5. On printing array of index position 3, it will print 4. Here by mistake all are printed. This is wrong, only 4 will be printed. uh, now function. Now what a basic definition of function. A function is a subdivided program of the main program. Okay, so suppose very big program is written, and inside that if you subdivide some certain sections in it which are independent of each other, then you can say that those are functions. Function is called u by the main function, int main. Okay, now this some function can itself call some another function also. That won't be a problem. In C++, every program contains one or more functions which can be invoked from other sections of a program. So a function is a subdivided program of the main program. Here, int main cout sum 25, 50. So cout 25, 50. Here, sum 25, 50. So first 25, 50 is being passed as parameters to the function sum. So here sum is outside the main function. Here we have int a comma int b, two parameters. Int add a plus b. Here int a comma int b. So 25 is a is equal to 25, b equal to 50. After that we have int add equal to a plus b. So add equal to 75. Now return add. So 75 is returned. Return 75. Okay. So once you get cout to 75, so 75 is printed simply. Now reference. The reference is an alias of a variable in a program. So, a variable and its reference can be used interchangeably in a program, as both refer to the same memory location. Okay, a reference to a variable both have same memory location, so any changes made to any of them are reflected in the other. Okay, so, let's come to this example. Int x10 int and ref equal to x. So and ref is ref is the reference variable of variable x. Okay, so and is the syntax. Int and ref, this is the syntax. And is basically used for address. Okay, so it basically tells that the address of x as well as the address of f are both same because we are using int and ref equal to x. Okay, so now we are changing the value of ref equal to 20. So initially the value of ref was what? Int and ref equal to x. So whatever the value of x was will be the value of ref. So now we are changing the value of ref equal to 20. Now if you print x, so as I told you, both have same memory location, and in place of 10 we are storing 20 right now. So the value of x is also changed. So now 20 will be printed. Now x equal to 30. Now change in x will also be changed in will also so in the the change in ref also. So on printing ref we will get 30, 20 and 30. Okay, now pointer. A pointer is a variable that can store the memory address of another variable. Okay, so a pointer is a variable which stores the memory address. It doesn't store any value, it stores the memory address. Okay, pointer allows using the memory dynamically. This is another point. Memory allows using the memory dynamically. Memory can be allocated or reallocated to the variables at runtime, thus making a more efficient, thus making a program more efficient. Pointers helps in allocation, deallocation of memory. So hatch include bits slash std C++. This header file is used to include all the header files of C++ like string, um, vector, everything, iostream, conio. Okay, so I generally don't prefer this because why do we need to include all the header files, because if you are not using it in the program. Okay, but suppose if you are using more than one header file, then I think more than 5-6 header files, then I think it's then you can use this. Okay, using namespace std okay, int var. So first we will go to the int main function. From there we are calling the eureka function. Okay, the eureka function. So we come to eureka int var equal to 20. Okay, suppose the address of the memory location at which is variable var equal to 20 is 06, okay, 0x6ffdd4. Now int star ptr is a pointer array, is a integer pointer. So integer pointer means it will store the address of integer variable only. Okay, now ptr equal to and var. ptr equal to and var. What this does, and var will what do, and var means the address of the memory location where var is stored. So the address of the memory location where var is stored is 0x6ff. Okay, so ptr will store 0x6ff dt4. Okay, now we are printing the value at ptr. Value at ptr equal to ptr. Okay, here ptr only is written, so it will print ptr only, which is 0x. Okay, this was stored in the ptr. Now we want to print the value stored at var. So we, if you print value at var, so what it is 20, so 20 is printed. Now value at star ptr. Now what is used for star? What was stored in ptr? The address was stored in ptr. Now suppose if we put star in front of ptr, what will do? Star 0x66. So what it does is that the memory location, the memory location address was 0x this. Okay, so if you use star before it, it will point to that memory location, and whatever value was present in it will be returned here. Okay, x star ptr will return the value present at the memory location stored in ptr. Okay, so what was the was the value stored at that memory location? That was 20, so we get 20 here. Okay, string is a class, the inbuilt class. The term string means that an ordered sequence of characters. The term string means an ordered sequence of characters. A sequence of characters can be represented using an object of a class in C++. Okay, let's come here. String is present. The name, okay, string st equal to welcome to Educata. Here string is a class, st is its object, and welcome to Educata is the construction parameters getting passed to the object is string st. Okay, now string std is underscore st is happy learning. So we have two strings. Now first of all, in C we don't have any string concept. Okay, we don't have string. String was not present, so we used to use character. Okay, char array for string. So after C++ we have the concept of string st, because in C we don't have a concept of object, but in C++ we have concept of object. So string st. Okay, got it. Hmm. Now we are printing one by one. Cout ch will print hello world. Cout st will print welcome to Educata. Cout std st will print happy learning. Okay, done. Now built-in data type char 1 byte, sort in 2 byte, and int 4 byte. Now in 32-bit computer value of int is 2 byte. In 64-bit computer value of int is 4 byte. Okay. Now long it will 4 byte, unsigned int 4 byte, signed int 4 byte. So even if you use modifiers for this, it won't change the size. Okay, float 4 byte, double 8 byte, long double 8 byte, wcat t 4 byte, 1 byte character. Now let's int. The range of int is -327,682 plus 32767. Now suppose signed sorting. Signed means we have both positive as well as negative in it. So we can have minus as well as plus. But what if we use unsigned int? Unsigned int means that we don't have any negative characters in it, negative values in it. So we have 0 to plus 65535. Now the value of the range of char -1272 plus 127. Value of unsigned char means we don't have a negative, so 0 to 255. User defined data types. Structure is a user defined data type. Structure is a collection of variables of different data types. Here we have structure is mostly similar to class. Okay, struct point int a comma b. Here we have two variables, integer variables. It is completely similar to a normal class that holds a collection of data of different data types. It holds a collection of data of different types. It may contain different data types also, like int a comma int b. Now we can have float c comma float d. Now in order to access the variables of structure, we have to first create the object of that structure class of that structure. Struct point p1 equal to 0 10. So 0 comma 10 is first in passed as a constructor to this struct point. Okay, so a is equal to 10 and then b equal to 10. Now p1 dot a is changed to 25, so a is 25 and b is 10. Now if we print p1 dot a and p1 dot b, we will get what? 25 comma 10. That's it. Enum, is a user defined data type. Enum means enumerator, is a user defined data type in C++. It is designed to assign names to integral constants. The names increases the readability of a program, and also the program becomes easier to maintain. So enum means enumerator, is a user defined data type. It is designed to assign name to integral constants. Integer constants. The name increases the readability of a program, and also the program becomes easier to maintain. Now take this as an example. Okay, enum week. Suppose enum is a class and the class name is week. Okay, it contains this many variables, and each variable has a value. Monday equal to 0, Tuesday equal to 1, Wednesday equal to 2, similarly Sunday equal to 7. So these are 0 1 2 3, always starts from 0. Okay, now int main. So in order to access the variables of this enum, we first need to create the object of this enum. So enum week space day. Here day is the object of this enum. Okay, now day equal to wed. Now if we print day, what should it print? It can't print wed because the value of wed has already been declared as 0 1 2 2. Okay, wed in itself is a variable, user defined variable. Okay, wed, and it has a value 0 1 2 2, so it has a value 2. So on printing day, day stores wed, and then wed is equal to 2, so we are printing 2 here, output 2. What is a class? A class is a user defined data type. Okay, it's declared with the keyword. Class is a blueprint of a model. Blueprint, uh, simple. Class is a collection of object. Class is declared with the keyword class at the side of its members with personal protected or public access specifier. By default, a class in C++ is private. Here we have a good example. In order a class student public int id string name. So first, in order to access its members, we need to create an object of that class, student s1 it's 1 to 0, something like that, s1.name Arjun. Okay, so once we print cout s1.id, we will get 1201. Okay, s1.name we will get Arjun. Okay, union. The union is completely similar to a structure in terms of declaration and usage, but all the members of a union occupy the same space in memory and is the memory located in and union. A union is completely similar to a structure or a class. The only difference between a union and a structure is that union occupy the same space in memory. Okay, that is the memory location is shared among the union members. So all the members of a union occupy the same space in memory, and the memory location is shared among the union members. But in structure, we have different memory locations for different variables. So take this as an example. Here union type, name of union is type. It has two member variables, int a, float b. So memory space of int a is 2 byte, float b equal to 4 byte. Okay, so here a single memory block is created of 4 byte. So once you here we have a pseudonym of union my type. So in order to access it, we create object my type x x dot equal to 5. So value of a is 5. Now print a x dot a, we get value as 5. But suppose if we change the value of b, okay, once it was having a garbage value, now we change it to 7.3. Now printing a, as I told you earlier that it saves the same memory location as previously. The value, the memory space taken by a was 2 byte. Now as float b takes 4 byte, so automatically it what should I say, it overrides the previous memory. So value of a now gets changed, so it will have something like this, 10890. Okay, uh, now value of b will be 7.3 because it now contains the value of b only, not the value of a. Variable, variables means identifiers. The variable in C++ is a user defined name. The variable in C++ is a user defined name for a particular memory in the computer reserved to store data and process. The variables in C++ are divided into two types, global and local. So the scope of a global variables are defined outside of a function. The scope is the whole program. That is, the global variables will hold their value throughout the lifetime of a program. That is, a global variable is available for use throughout the entire program after its declaration. Here global variable is declared outside the main function, and it it is actually accessible inside that main function also. Now local variables are declared inside a function. Its scope is only inside that function of a block of code. Here int main, here a, b and c, all three are local variables. Its scope is only inside that uh, in main function. After it comes out of main function, this memory is deallocated. Modifiers in C++. Modifiers in C++ allows the built-in data types like char, int and double to have some extra features, like suppose if you use unsigned, so it will have only positive values. Long, the range is long. On using long, the range increases, okay, but the size remains the same. Long int I'm talking about. A modifier is used to alter the meaning of the base type so that it is so that it more precisely fits the need of various situations. The data type modifiers available in C++ are signed, unsigned, long, short. Here we are using sort int I, sort unsigned int j. Okay, so j, here we are using j equal to 50,000, I equal to j. As we know that j can store 50,000, but we are using sort int I. Can j store I? I don't think so. So once we are printing I, the range gets negative because the range of sort int I is not that much. Okay, but the range of j is what? The range of j is what? 655355, something like that. The above result is because the bit pattern that represents 50,000 as a sort unsigned integer is interpreted as minus 15,536 minus 15,536 by a sort. Type qualifier in C++. The type qualifier provides additional information about the variables they precede. There are three different type qualifiers in C++ language. Objects of type const int a, suppose a equal to 5, so that value can't be changed. Objects of type const cannot be changed by your program during execution. Volatile, the modifier volatile tells the compiler that a variable's value may be changed in ways not explicitly specified by the program. It tells that the variable's value may get changed in ways not explicitly specified by the program. Restrict, a pointer qualified by restrict is initially the only means by which the object it points to can be accessed. By which the object points to can be accessed. Only C99 adds a new type qualifier called restrict. Only C++ adds a new type qualifier called restrict. So, operator in C++, we have binary operator, unary operator, ternary operator. Binary operator acts on two operands like plus, minus, logical means and or, or bitwise operator, mm, assignment operator. Now unary operator plus plus, minus minus, I plus plus, I minus minus. The ternary operator means conditional operator. Arithmetic operator a plus b, a minus b, a star b, a imply. Okay. Hmm. Check if the value of the left operand is greater than or equal to the value of right. Here, here instead of plus it should be written less than sign. Okay, and instead of minus there should be greater sign. So less than means checks whether the left operand is lesser. If yes, then true. And here if greater, then means if check if the left operator is greater, then prints true. Relation object operator a double equal to b, a dot equal to b greater than a less than or greater than equal to. Here a plus plus means 20 plus 1 20. A minus minus means will decrease by 190. Here we have a relation operator, checks the relation and provides the answers true or not true. Logical operators. Here we have logical and, logical or, and we have logical not. Not of A and B is true. Not of A or B true. A and B. If A and B are both same, then it will return true. Not then false. Here we have A and B means both are not similar, so false. But we have not outside, so it gets true. Value of A is 20, value of B is 19. Bitwise operator, single and. Single and means it will check bitwise and. Okay, and a double slash b will check bitwise of bitwise of a or b. It will check bitwise a or b and will give the user value. Bitwise operators supported by C++ are listed in the following table. Instead of double slash, it should be a single slash. A slash b. A slash b will give 61, which is okay. Value of b a is 60 and value of b is 13. Okay, so first we have to convert this a value of a whole 60 means we have to first convert 60 into its binary representation and then value of b into its 13 into its binary. Then we have to perform this AND operation. So performing AND operation will get u12. So this is the binary operation. This is the result. On performing the binary OR operation, copies a bit if it exists in either operand. So using this this table, we need to calculate the result. Okay, I won't get into such digital part. Digital alone. Assignment operator C equal to A plus B, C plus equal to A. It means that C is equal to C plus A. Okay, C plus equal to A. C is equal to C plus A. C minus equal to A means C equal to C minus A. C star A. Okay, you get the trend, right? C equal to C star A. C equal to C by A. Okay, now this one here comes the tricky part. Two arrows left and then equal to. Now what it does is C equal to, follow that trend. C equal to C left shift and this double arrow means left shift and assignment operator, left shift and assignment operator. Okay, C equal to C left shift and operator and assignment operator and the 2. It means that you are basically telling that all the bits of this C value of this C must be left shifted by 2. Now this greater than equal to c equal to c greater than to. It means right shift and assignment operator. It means you are telling that all the bits of c has to be right shift by 2, and at the MSB bits it should be written 0, and here in the LSB bits in the left performing left, as we are left shifting all the bits by 2, that means all the bits are shifted twice. Okay, so at the LSB and then the second LSB we will add 0 there. Similarly on right shifting and assignment operator we will be having the MSB and the second MSB both 0. Bitwise and assignment operator, c and equal to 2, c equal to c and 2. It means you are using bitwise and by 2. Value of 2 in binaries 1 0, so you are using and between c and 2. Okay, similarly bitwise exclusive or, so this is used to, this is a symbol of XOR. Okay, c equal to c XOR 2, so binary of 2 is 1 0, so you are doing bitwise XOR between c and 2. Similarly bitwise or, c equal to c or 2. C++ operators according to its preference. Hmm. Uh, Associativity left to right postfix. First curly bracket and square bracket, plus plus then minus minus. Unary right to left. So here in this case of unary, we have minus minus higher precedence, and then we have plus plus. Okay, so first we are going to use minus minus, then we are going to use plus plus. Multiplicative left to right, star slash modulus. So star is having higher precedence, slash is having a bit lower precedence than that, and then modulus having the least precedence. Addition higher precedence, and then minus having lower precedence than that. Okay, you need to learn this table. Only the first three is important. Okay, the multiplicative one is important. The precedence order left to right. Unary, first we right to left, that means size of, then type star and type minus minus, let me unary minus minus I minus minus suppose. So then you are going to use first I minus minus, decreasing the value of I, and then you are going to use I plus 2, then only. Okay, conditional statements are used to execute statement or group of statements based on some condition. If the condition is true, then C++ statements are executed. Otherwise, next statement will get executed. Different types of conditional statements C++ are if else, nested if else, switch statement. Okay. Now, if Boolean expression true, then only execute. Flowchart: start if condition true, statement false, statement if else. Now we have if a less than 200, value of a 100. If a is less than 200, 100 less than 200, it's true. So print inside, print cout a is less than 200. Else is not there. Then after this block of code, cout value of a is okay. So a is less than 200 true, value of a is 100. Now we come to if else. It has two conditions: start true, if true, statement, if false, then also statement, and then lastly another statement. Here a 100, b 200. If b is greater than 100, 200 is greater than 100, true. So b is greater. If suppose if value of b is 50, so 50 greater than 100, false. So we will be printing a is greater than. B is greater, press any key. Instead of writing a pause, it was written nothing. Hmm, oh, sorry, this is not needed. Nested if else. If present inside the nested if else statement is used when a program requires more than one text expression. It is also called a multi-way selection statement when a series of the decision. Nested if else means if present inside another if. Okay, hatch include iostream uh, a b if a equal to 100. Suppose a equal to. Now this statement will only get executed if a is equal to 100. If not, then this if will not get executed because this whole if is taken as a single statement for this upper if. Okay, outer if. So exact value of a is as value of a is 1000. This is false, so this statement will not get executed. It comes out of this loop. See out exact value of a is 1000, exact value of b is 2500. This two. Else if ladder. Else if else if. Okay. Else if ladder means no nested if. So I'm stopping it here.